Coach, how do you feel about your past season?
Well, it's been a very rewarding season for us. It's one that I would not have been able to lay my job on the line saying we were going to win 9 ball games. I couldn't have done it before the year. And it's been we were hoping definitely to have a winning season, you know, for the first time in a long time. And it's just been an excellent season as far as the way things turned out are concerned.
You said as your objectives the first of the year that you wanted to get the Florida State team into the top 20 and also land a bowl bid. You've done both.
Well, that is, I really felt like trying to get Florida State back on top where we want to be, that we have to take it step by step. We told our boys you got to crawl before you can walk, and you've got to walk before you can run. We can't just start running immediately. So our first goal had to be to get into the top 20, not into the top 10. Oh, we'd love to be in the top 10, but we got to be realistic too. We will strive to get in the top 20. If we get into the top 20, we should get a bowl, because usually there's usually 22 or 24 slots for bowl people. So we get into the bowl, and then that's 2 objectives. Now next year our objective will be higher.
What about your attitude when you came to Florida State?
Well, of course, my attitude was great because I like Florida State. See, I'd coached down here before, and anybody who was there, I've never seen anybody that lived in Tallahassee that didn't love Tallahassee. It's one of the finest cities in the world to live in, and so it was a great opportunity to come back home, you know.
Deeply religious person. Does that have any effect on your coaching and also maintaining the family life?
Well, I think religion plays a big part. There's no doubt, and I don't want people to. I just have to be careful. I don't want people think that I think I'm perfect. I'm not even. You know, I'm not. I try to be good. You know, but I'm not. But I could not do it without religious faith. I could not do it, really. I mean, there's too many things that happen that will scare you off and make you want to run, hide, or quit. But I do have deep faith that things are going to work out for the best. That's what I was always taught, and that's what I believe, and that sustains me.
In a football game, there is going to be adversity. And that's one of the great teachings of football. There is going to be adversity. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to get ripped apart. The other team is going to move the ball on you. But you can't quit. You can't let up. You must back off and regroup and come back. And if they don't do that, if these kids don't do that, they don't have the can't have that. So we're going to teach these guys you can't do it that way. You get knocked down, you got to get up. If they make 20 yards, we'll regather and stop on the next play. But the same thing, you fans have got to do the same thing. If we happen to go through some adversity until we get these kids educated like we want them, you have got to regroup. You can't hang your head. You can't quit. You got to keep fighting. Because men and ladies, we can't do this unless we're all together. It takes every one of us.
Board, and Chanel firing to the bottom. Safety valve is there, and so is Mr. Dunn. Out of bounds at the 7-yard line, and the Noles attempting to mount a fourth quarter comeback. Chanel takes the snap and rolls off to the right now. They must hurry. Fires the touchdown. It's Cooper in the corner. 10:04, and hang on, everybody. Here come the Noles.
Florida State used only 3 or 4 seconds. Now Ward in the open field to Dunn. Anderson can't get him, and Dunn is out of bounds. And a flag. He's got it.
We've lost several quarters of play. We lost the second quarter was the hit ball game. And then they beat us the fourth quarter with a foul.
Does this qualify as one of those moral victories?
No, I don't think so. I don't think Steve or myself, either one of us, would want a moral victory against the other. But it is a pretty dang good win. I mean, tie. Pretty good tie.
You know, the other one was my favorite was Prairie View against Grambling.
What happened?
And Prairie View had never won a game, and the guy was running for a touchdown. Grambling won them all, and the guy was running for a touchdown in Grambling, and a guy ran out of the stands with a shotgun and stopped him. And the officials just left the field. And the next day, 4 police officers walked the official out. He went like this. He was all alone in the whole stadium. There's nobody around. He went, "You sure there's nobody around?" I said, "Nobody around." I said, "You sure there's nobody around?" "Nobody around." You made it. Yes. The next day, it actually happened. It's been verified. Verify that story. So listen, in the Florida game, if one of those guys starts running down the field, those Florida guys don't understand guns, so I'll just offer them money to stop.
Nick's daddy would bring him and a lot of the other boys up to watch our ball games. I actually knew his daddy, but I did him. You know, he was just a little boy.
And when the younger Saban grew up and took up coaching as his own profession, Bowden did something that has stuck with the Tide coach to this day.
When my father passed away, I was a graduate assistant at Kent State. My mother was having a lot of problems. One day the phone rings and it's Coach Bowden, and he says, "If you need to come home and you want to be a coach, I'll create a graduate assistant position for you here so you can do what you need to do and be around your mother." And I never ever forgot that, and I don't think anyone in my family ever forgot it.
I get a call about 2:30 at night. "Coach Bowden, you need to get over here to the hospital. One of your boys has been hurt." and it looks bad. When I get there, I go find the doctor, and as soon as I see him, he's shaking his head. He looks at me and said, "Coach, Pablo died."
I went in shock. I actually heard the gunshot the night of it. It was more like a daze.
Pablo would probably play in the NFL for 10 years as an offensive tackle. It hurt everybody on the team.
That affected a lot of us, seeing that.
Were you there that night?
Yeah. That's something I don't want to talk about.
I told them 2 o'clock we're gonna have a meeting in our team room. Now the way we arranged it, we had 11 chairs on the front row. That's where the first team offense sat. Now the reason I set them like that, if I saw an empty chair, I knew exactly who's missing. Well, there was one missing chair.
I think I was taking roll that day and just kind of keeping an eye on the door to make sure it would stay private. And he pointed to an empty chair. He said, "Man, Pablo used to sit right there. Now he's gone." He said, "If that was you last night, do you know where you would spend eternity?"
Now what I was trying to do is get them thinking about death. They think only old people die, not young. And it opened it up where I could give my boys a Sunday school lesson on how to get to heaven. Yeah, I preached to them. I sure did. Doggone right I did. I'm concerned about where my players spend eternity, you know?
Well, I'm in the back of the room listening, and I'm like, I know where I'd spend it. It's not a good place. And that night I said, I'm gonna go see Coach in the morning.
He said, "Coach, what were you talking about in there?" I said, "I never heard that." About eternal life and about what's on the other side after you die. I had my mother's Bible on the desk, and I took that Bible and I read to him what he had to do to be saved.
You know, I basically prayed to receive Christ right there in his office and literally changed my life significantly. You know, my mission became just trying to live a life that God would be pleased with. If anybody's wondering, Pablo didn't die in vain. He changed my life completely.
Here are the notes for the first meeting with my squad in 1999. We've never had an undefeated season, even when we won the national championship in '93. Now, if you'll do everything we ask, it'll happen.
We're supposed to have a lot of big-time players. That's all we've been hearing, isn't it? Let's go out there and make it happen.
He took the right approach, said the right things, but don't think for a second that he didn't want to get an undefeated season.
On his desk, he had a frame with no picture. He said, "That's for the first undefeated team I have."
Keep them moving. They drag back.
We had an opportunity to do something that had never been done before, and we didn't shy away from it.
I think we got a little complacent, and Michael Vick just put on a show.
Touchdown, Virginia Tech, Michael Vick.
In my brain, I was like, just give me and Dugans the ball, make them fight from behind.
Warren's going to field it at the 40, to the 30, 45, to the 50, 40-yard line. Touchdown, Florida State, Peter Warren.
You gotta fight for your life. It's 30 minutes now. They're sitting over there determining where they want it worse than us.
Vic could only do so much on his own. The talent level of the Florida State defense, they took over.
In the fourth quarter, Michael Vick was completely out of gas.
Me and Bobby was on the sideline. I looked at him straight in the eye. I said, "Coach B, you want me to finish him?" He was like, "Yeah. Getting him a 9 to deep ball right now."
Dropping Winky, looking Winky, wants to throw the knockout punch to Warwick. Warwick open, cannot make the catch. Touchdown, he does a touchdown, he did catch it. Touchdown, Florida State. Oh, Peter Warwick, how'd you do that?
Every guy on that football team wanted to win that for Coach Bowden. The one image that will never leave me is the picture of him standing on that stage holding up that crystal ball.
Every football team has to establish an identity. These guys never lost. This team here set the standard.
Bobby Bowden is 79 years old, but he's still enjoying very much patrolling the sidelines. However, after several down years, according to Seminole standards, the chair of the trustee board at Florida State has seen enough. Jim Smith, in an interview with the Tallahassee Democrat, said that Seminole Nation has been more than patient. Enough is enough. Clouding the situation even more is the fact that Jimbo Fisher, the head coach in waiting, is due a $5 million bonus if he's not the head coach by 2011. Bowden addressed the situation earlier this evening.
What is your response to the rumors that you're going to be stepping down?
I have none. I have none. I have no comment on that whatsoever. Anybody got any questions? Beside her?
So
It's like a woman.
So, sorry to bring this up again, but nothing to say on what some other people in the university are saying. They're calling for you to retire. They want you to step down. Is this something that you're going to consider? Or
What did I just tell her?
Go for it.
That's right. I ain't going to talk about it.
Okay. Your wife talked about it in like a newspaper outlet, I believe. Is that, did you know about that or?
Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm. She speaks for herself.
Florida State is off to its worst start since 1976, Bobby Bowden's first year in Tallahassee. And now, some are hoping this will be his last. After the Seminoles lost to Boston College last week, Jim Smith, the chairman of the Florida State University Board of Trustees, called for Bowden's job, claiming it was time for offensive coordinator Jimbo Fisher to take over. But the man in charge of actually making that decision, University President T.K. Weatherall, gave Bowden a conditional vote of confidence on Wednesday, stating Bowden can stay pending a reevaluation of the situation at the end of the season. You know, a few years ago, Joe Paterno faced this same scrutiny, and he weathered the storm. What's the right move regarding Bowden? Archie, what do you think?
I say leave Coach Bowden alone. 34 years he's been there. He's built their program. And what do they got this? Unbelievable stadium, facilities, their great history there. So the chairman of the board comes out and publicly criticizes Coach Bowden. All that does is hurt Florida State.
Bobby Bowden finishes his 33rd season at Florida State, 6-6. They get killed by the Gators on Saturday. The 80-year-old Bowden expected to meet with officials as soon as today to discuss his future as Jimbo Fisher waits in the wings as his successor. What's the latest there?
Well, I spoke with a member of the Florida State staff and also a member of the Florida State Board of Trustees, and both of those people think that we will know a lot more about Bobby Bowden's future or lack of a future at Florida State by this evening. One of those people told me that he believed that the athletic director at Florida State, T.K. Weatherall, and that's the president, and the AD is Randy Spettman. Both of those guys, he believed, were meeting with Bowden this morning to try to sort through and clear up exactly how this is going to end, Hannah. Will Bowden be allowed to coach the last year, and under what terms if he is?
Chief Osceola representing the Seminoles. He's waiting for somebody. Awesome.
How come I ain't run you off?
Oh, shit.
How y'all doing, man?
All right. Good to see you again, sir.
How you doing?
All right. Good to see you again.
What's up, brother? He wouldn't hit nobody.
He's outside. Yeah, he's outside.
Look at this guy.
Coach Bowden, how you doing, young man?
One, two, three. Beautiful. It's good to see you again. I read about you all the time. You are. How many homes now? How many? This is
From Fontana, California, from Ashburn, Georgia, Scott Marion.
I'm going to finish by reading a poem that I read when I got into the Alabama Hall of Fame years ago. But this poem means a whole lot to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Talks about Hall of Fames. To have your name up there is greater yet by far than all the Hall of Fames down here and every man-made star. This crowd on earth, they soon forget the heroes of the past. They cheer like mad until you fall. That's how long you last. I tell you, friend, I would not trade my name, however small, if written there beyond the stars in that celestial hall. For any famous name on earth, a glory that they share, I'd rather be an unknown here and have my name up there.